Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great Monday morning. This is Pat Webb with Virginia Citizens Defense League, and I am joined by Cam Edwards. Hi, Cam.
Good morning. How are you?
I am great, and I'm really excited that you're going to be on our live meeting this coming Sunday at 8 p.m.
I'm very excited about it as well. I am looking forward to hanging out with all of the Virginia gun owners and the Second Amendment advocates with the VCDL. Had the chance to speak at the Gun Rights Policy Conference, actually AmCon, kind of done in conjunction with the Gun Rights Policy Conference. And Philip Van Cleve was nice enough to ask me to join you guys for this month's meeting after we talked. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. It was great to see you virtually at the Gun Rights Policy Conference. And because you were virtual, I didn't get a chance to do the man on the street interview that I did with several other people. So I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you three little questions.
Okay, let's do it.
First one is, how did you get involved in defending the right to keep and bear arms?
So I was doing morning drive radio in Oklahoma City. Apologies, by the way. I've got my neighbor is haying his pasture right outside my window, so you might hear a little background noise. But I was doing morning drive radio, KTOK in Oklahoma City. This was 19 years ago, 2004, when the NRA decided that they wanted to put together what was originally NRA News. And I was approached to see if there would be any interest. You know, when you're a talk show host in Oklahoma, you don't really cover the Second Amendment locally all that often because it's a pretty good state, in terms of our gun rights. But I knew that across the nation, it was very, very different. And so the opportunity to cover this issue, really in a way that nobody was doing at the time, on a daily basis, and to bring this news and information from all around the country to gun owners, it seemed really intriguing. And it was great. I mean, it was just a great fit. I love this issue. I love, the people that are fighting for the right to keep and bear arms. And here we are 19 years later, and I'm still at it each and every day.
Okay. Next question is, what does the Second Amendment mean to you?
That's a really good question. I think it means a lot of things. It doesn't just mean one thing. It means freedom, ultimately, right? It means our ability to protect and defend ourselves and the people that we love. And, I didn't grow up in a gun-owning family. My single mom, she was kind of agnostic. She wasn't really anti-gun. We just didn't really talk about it. And it wasn't until I met a woman who was a single mom of her own, living in Camden, New Jersey. This was in the late 1990s when Camden was the murder capital of the United States. That was sort of my wake-up call. We were on the phone one night. We met online back in the dial-up days of the internet, and we're talking on the phone one night. It's about midnight, and I hear gunshots through the receiver, and then she stopped talking. And this was, really early on in our relationship. I didn't know her address. I knew her phone number. I was young. I just kind of panicked. I didn't know what to do. I probably should have called 911, but I didn't. I just kind of stayed up all night long, kept, redialing, getting the busy signal. I knew where she worked. The next morning, I called her office. I was going to have one of her coworkers, go check on her. Hopefully they knew where she lived. And instead, she picked up the phone. And I was just flummoxed. I didn't know what to do. And when I finally could find the words, I said, what happened? We were talking. I heard the gunshots. You didn't answer. She said, I fell asleep while we were talking. I said, how could you fall asleep? I mean, I heard the gunshots through the phone. They must have been even louder. And she's like, I live in Camden. Those are like the sound of crickets where you live. She had just tuned this out. And I said at the time, I said, well, doesn't New Jersey have really good gun laws? And she just laughed this kind of hard laugh, like, yeah, right. They have a lot of laws, but those laws didn't stop the gangbangers outside of her apartment from shooting up her complex on a regular basis. They did stop her from being able to lawfully own a gun. She didn't have a car. She would have been relying on public transportation, multiple trips down to the county sheriff's office, taking time off of work to just, simply get the piece of paper that says I can keep a gun in the home. And that was sort of my wake-up call for not only how important our right to keep and bear arms in self-defense is, but how egregious and unconscionable a lot of these gun control laws are, because they hurt the very people they're ostensibly supposed to help.
Yeah, criminals, the definition of criminal is not obeying the law. So obviously, gun control is a failed concept. Third question is, a lot of times when people find out that I carry a gun every day, I get asked, why do you carry a gun? What are you afraid of? How would you answer that question?
I'm not afraid of being the victim of a violent crime any more than I'm afraid of setting my kitchen on fire every time I cook. But I've got a fire extinguisher in the corner, right? I have homeowners insurance. I have car insurance. I carry a firearm not with the expectation that I'm going to be the victim of a violent crime, but knowing that if I am the victim of a violent crime, that I'll have the means to fight back. I live in a rural area. Law enforcement, if they need to get to my house, maybe 15 minutes away if I'm lucky. If my neighbor, the sheriff, is home, probably a little bit faster. But if he's not around, right, it's going to take some time. And we do have strangers, that'll come onto the property on occasion, drive down the driveway. It's never been an issue, but it always puts you on guard a little bit. I hope that I never have to use my firearm in self-defense. I will be the happiest gun owner if I am on my deathbed and I've never drawn my firearm to defend myself or somebody I love. But I never, ever want to be in a situation where I need to protect myself and my family and I find myself defenseless.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for letting me put you on the spot like that.
Yeah.
I didn't prep you ahead of time or anything. Kind of, in fairness, that's what I did with everybody at the Gun Rights Policy Conference. Anyway, tell people that may not know you who you are and where they can find you, please.
Sure, absolutely. So, as I said, I was the host of Cam and Company on NRA News and NRA TV from 2004 to 2019, when that went away very suddenly. And then I became the editor at BearingArms.com. So we're still doing Bearing Arms Cam and Company 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. You can find that on YouTube and Rumble and all the major podcast platforms. But we're also at BearingArms.com, and I'm the editor there. So we're updating the website constantly with all of the latest Second Amendment news and information from all across the nation. I've got some great colleagues, including Tom Knighton, John Petrolino up in New Jersey, Ranjit Singh, Ryan Petty, who has a really compelling story of his own. Lost his daughter at the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooting. But Ryan is also an FFL and a Second Amendment supporter, so he's not one of those individuals who has just embraced gun control. He thought about this deeply, and I really appreciate the perspective that all of the writers bring to the table at Bearing Arms. I think we've got a really good group of folks there who are writing, and I would encourage folks to check it out if they've never visited.
Absolutely. And of course, you'll be with us this coming Sunday night, October 8th at 8 p.m. So we're looking forward to that.
I am too. VCDL is doing fantastic work and not only helping to keep the liberties that we have, but also to claw back some of the rights that we have lost. I've been just thrilled to be associated with VCDL over the past few years at the Lobby Day rally and 2020. I will never forget standing there, just in front of that sea of tens of thousands of gun owners. So I am really looking forward to hanging out again with VCDL members this Sunday. I think we're going to have a great conversation, and I'm looking forward to talk with everybody.
All right. Thanks so much. So, folks, you can share this video with people that might want to join in on Sunday night, and we look forward to seeing you online Sunday.
That's right. We'll see you then.